Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, assembled company, welcome to the World Storytelling Cafe. And it is Friday, therefore it is Louis's night. Hello, Louis. And we have it's Donald's night as well. Hello, Donald. And Terry in the
Hello.
USA. Right. My middle row of my computer is all from the USA tonight. It's Terry Lott. I don't know which state. Which state are you in, Terry?
Ohio.
You're in Ohio, so we have Ohio. BBC in Washington D.C. We have and we're going to pop across to Morocco for a second because I've got Waleed in Marrakesh on my screen, but most importantly is tonight's guest, tonight's teller from sunny Florida. Is it sunny?
Yes, it is.
Great. Could you send? Well, we've had sun today, but very little warmth attached to it. So if you could send some warmth this way, that'd be appreciated. But for right now, immediately, I'm going to hand over to tonight's fantastic storyteller, Debra Weller. Over to you, Debra.
Oh, thank you so much, John. I just needed to know what time we would be ending, so I end on time.
Oh, well, we do it's an elastic time, but roughly 45 minutes.
Awesome.
Which allows Louis time to get to his swimming, and so 45 minutes will do us very nicely. Thank you, Debra.
Thank you. I am so glad to be here today on the World Storytelling Cafe, and I love being a storyteller. Louis, I love being a storyteller, and to everyone else I know here who are storytellers, we find those stories and tell them. And now I will open with a song and then stories. I want to tell you a story, spin you a yarn, take you on a magic trip here and beyond. Bring your imagination and a happy smile. Let me see your smiles. Please gather round, sing along, listen for a while. Well, in this story, I'm going to need your help. This story is a very old story, an ancient story. It is found in Jewish literature, but there have been many variations of this story. Today, I will be telling the story, but I will need your help. And Louis, I hope you'll be joining in to make some of the sounds that I need in this story and to help with the character sounds. So let's practice a bit. In this story, there is a tea kettle that goes hiss, 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 hiss. Can everybody try that? Hiss,
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 hiss.
Hiss, hiss.
It's
There are leaves outside the window that go swish, swish.
Swish.
Swish,
swish, swish.
And there's a bed that goes squeak, squeak.
Squeak, squeak.
You've got it. And then we have a few other characters for us to practice before the story begins. We've got a chicken, so make your best chicken sound just 2 times. Awesome. And we have a cow. And a donkey. Oh my goodness, storytellers, you are all ready to play in the story because that's what stories are about, to play. And we will do that. Once upon a time, there was a man named Isaac. And Isaac lived in a nice little farm. He had everything he needed. He had a bed for sleeping, a stove for cooking, a bathroom for washing, a table for sitting, and he had a barn and some land to grow the crops. But every night, when Isaac would lay down upon his pillow, weary from the day, well, his tea kettle would go hiss, hiss. The leaves outside the window would go swish,
Squish.
Swish.
Squish. Squish.
his bed would go squeak.
Squeak. Squeak. Squeak.
Poor Isaac would say, I can't sleep. He would toss and turn all night long, and he'd be very grumpy in the morning. I would be too if I didn't sleep well. Well, on this very day, when he woke up all grumpy from the sounds, he decided, I think I know to go and see the rabbi. The rabbi is the smartest man in the village. I'm going to ask him. So Isaac put on his coat, put on his hat, put on his walking shoes, and he walked into the town. People would greet him and say, hello, Isaac, how are you today? And he'd say, I'm feeling grumpy. I didn't get any sleep. Well, he finally came to the door and he knocked on the door of the rabbi's house. And the rabbi came to the door and said, Isaac, what brings you here today? Oh, Rabbi, my life is so hard. I cannot sleep at night because the tea kettle goes hiss, hiss. The leaves outside the window go swish,
Swish. Swish.
and the bed goes squeak, squeak. And I cannot sleep, Rabbi. What should I do? Oh, Isaac, indeed, you have a problem. Here's what I recommend that you do. I recommend that on your way home, you stop and get a chicken. A chicken? Why would I need a chicken? I am the wisest man in the village, and you need to follow my counsel. Yes, Rabbi, I will. So Isaac walked back to the village, and as he did, he stopped at a friend's barn, and he asked his friend, could I please have one of your chickens? I won't need it very long, but just for a few days. And the friend said, as long as you take care of my chicken, I will, I promise. So he gave the chicken to Isaac, and he cradled that chicken all the way back to his house. He gave the chicken some food, and Isaac was a little weary. He did some of his chores, and then he came in when the sun went down, and he made himself a meal. He ate his food, and after he ate his food, he brushed his teeth, washed his face, put on his pajamas, and then he laid down in his bed. The tea kettle went hiss, hiss. The leaves outside the window went swish.
Swish. Swish.
The bed went squeak,
Squeak. Squeak.
and now we have the chicken who went blah, 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 all night long. And Isaac turned and twisted. Oh, I can't sleep. He tried to plug his ears, but he still couldn't sleep. In the morning, he rolled out of bed, feeling grumpier than the day before. And when he rolled out of bed, he looked at himself in the mirror. His hair was all messed up. But he fixed himself a little bowl of milk, and he added some oats into it, and he drank some warm tea and thought that would help him feel better. Do you think it'll make him feel better? Well, he did not think so. He put on his going out clothes and his hat and his jacket. I need to go see the rabbi again. This is not working out. He walked grumpily back to the village, didn't say hello to anyone. They still called out, Isaac, how are you? But Isaac put his head down and went and knocked on the rabbi's door. Rabbi, open your door. It's Isaac. Isaac, you're back. How did it go last night? Oh, Rabbi, it couldn't be worse. The tea kettle went hiss, hiss. The leaves outside the window went swish, swish. The bed went squeak, squeak. And the chicken went blah, look, 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 blah, look, 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 look. Oh, Rabbi, I could not sleep. And with that, the rabbi said, oh, Isaac, I'm sorry to hear it didn't go well, but I want to tell you what you should do next. Okay, Rabbi, I'm ready. You must stop at your friend's home tonight and ask to have his cow. A cow? Rabbi, I have so many things that are making too much noise in my house right now. Why would I need a cow? I am the wisest man in all of the village. Follow my advice. Thank you, Rabbi. And he left. He walked down the path and he came to another friend's barn and said, do you mind if I take your cow for a few nights? I will feed her well and care for her gently. As long as you bring her back in a few days and don't forget to milk her, said his friend. I will, thank you kindly. And so he walked with the cow back to his home. He was exhausted from not getting sleep in 2 days. What was he going to do? Well, Isaac made himself a little meal. He got a potato and chopped it up and fried it in a pan. He drank some fresh milk from the cow. And he was ready now to brush his teeth, put on his pajamas, and get into his bed. And so he did. He lay down in his bed, but the tea kettle went hiss, hiss. The leaves outside the window went swish, swish, and the bed went squeak, squeak. And the rooster and chicken went and the cow went moo, moo. And Isaac couldn't sleep. Oh, he was screeching in the middle of the night. He tossed, he turned, he tossed and turned, and it made everything worse. In the morning, he was bleary-eyed and had bags under his eyes. He was afraid to look in the mirror. This time, he scrambled an egg for breakfast, drank some tea, and he stomped off down the village to the rabbi's house. He didn't even change his clothes. He was still in his pajamas. Everyone in the village was a little shocked. Isaac, are you okay? I'm fine. Isaac, Isaac. Well, with that, Isaac knocked on the door of the rabbi's house. The rabbi answered, Isaac, you're back. How did it go? Oh, Rabbi, it was terrible. It's not getting better. It's just getting worse. The tea kettle went hiss, hiss. The leaves outside the window went swish, swish. And the bed went squeak, squeak. And then the chicken went what? And the cow went moo all night long. Rabbi, what am I going to do now? Well, said the rabbi, I'd like you to get a donkey. What? A donkey? Who's going to bray all night long? Oh, Rabbi, really? Are you kidding? Yes, get a donkey, Isaac. Soon your troubles will be over. Oh, Rabbi, remember, I'm the wisest man in all of the village. Yes, Rabbi. Thank you for your advice. I'll do what I can. He walked so slowly back to his home, and he stopped at another friend's barn and said, May I please have your donkey for just this night? Why, yes, treat him well, and I will let you have him. Thank you, thank you. And the donkey followed him home. And when they got home, he had the donkey and the cow outside, and the chicken was pecking about. He barely had any energy to make his meal, but he found some carrots and he found some green beans and he sauteed them in a pan. He drank some water. His eyelids were closing. So he brushed his teeth. He was already in his pajamas, so he didn't even have to put them on. And then he laid down in his bed. The tea kettle went hiss, hiss. The leaves outside the window went swish, swish. And the bed went squeak, squeak. The chicken went look, 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 look. And the cow went moo, moo. And now the donkey chimed in. Ee-haw, ee-haw, ee-haw. Do you think Isaac was able to sleep? He did not sleep. And he tossed and turned. Can you toss and turn? And he grumbled and groaned and he couldn't go to sleep. And the sun was rising in the morning through his window. And he said, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. This is the last chance I have. He didn't even eat breakfast. He ran now all the way through the village. People were beginning to wonder, has Isaac gone mad? He knocked on the door furiously. Open up! It's me! It's Isaac! Open up! The rabbi came patiently to the door. Dear man, my good friend Isaac, you are quite distraught today. I am. I couldn't sleep. It was terrible. It was the worst it's ever been. Too much noise. Tell me about it. The tea kettle went hiss, hiss. The leaves outside the window went swish, swish, swish. The bed went squeak, squeak, squeak. The chicken went woof. The cow went moo. And the donkey went ee-haw, 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 ee-haw. Oh, you see, Rabbi, I could not sleep. Yes, Isaac. So here's my advice. Go back to your house. Bring the chicken back to your friend. Bring the donkey back to your friend. And bring the cow back to your friend. What? What? That's what I need you to do. I am the rabbi, the wisest man in all of the village. Will it help? Yes, do as I say, Isaac, and come and tell me about it again. So Isaac shook his head, scratched his head. He shuffled back. He got the donkey and brought it back to his friend. He got the cow and brought it back to his friend. He got the rooster and brought it back to his friend. And Isaac was so exhausted. As soon as the sun went down, what do you think he did? He got into his bed. The tea kettle went hiss, hiss. The leaves outside the window went swish, swish. And the bed went squeak, squeak. But Isaac lay there in his bed. He didn't toss. He didn't turn. Isaac had a smile on his face, and he said, "Ah, tonight I sleep. Tonight I rest. No longer is there too much noise." Too much noise. Thank you. Now, I would like you to join me in a song. Who's ready for some singing? Louis, are you ready for some singing? What do I have in my hand? A delicious.
Orange.
Do you think it's an orange?
No, not really.
Thank you, Mike. I know you're playing along with me. Well, this is a beautiful green apple. Put your thumb up if you'd love to eat green apples, or show me in sign language that you like apples. And this one is a green apple. I like them. And now I'm going to show you a picture of 5 green apples. This is a song where we'll be subtracting apples. Are you ready? You can listen, and if you so like it, you can join me. You'll discover the pattern. Farmer Brown had 5 green apples hanging from the tree. Farmer Brown had 5 green apples hanging from the tree. Then he plucked 1 apple and ate it greedily. Can you make your greedy sound? Leaving 4 green apples hanging on the tree. Farmer Brown had 4 green apples hanging on the tree. Farmer Brown had 4 green apples hanging on the tree. Then he plucked 1 apple and ate it greedily, leaving 3 green apples hanging on the tree. Farmer Brown had 3 green apples hanging on the tree. Farmer Brown had 3 green apples hanging on the tree. Then he plucked 1 apple and ate it greedily, leaving 2 green apples hanging on the tree. Farmer Brown had 2 green apples hanging on the tree. Farmer Brown had 2 green apples hanging on the tree. Then he plucked 1 apple and ate it greedily, leaving 1 green apple hanging on the tree. Farmer Brown had one green apple hanging on the tree. Farmer Brown had one green apple hanging on the tree. Then he plucked one apple and ate it greedily, leaving 0 green apples hanging on the tree. Thank you for doing that counting song with me. Now, I'm wondering, you see, I have a question. In the United States, we're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving. Sometimes people will think about Thanksgiving. They might have a turkey as their main dinner, which in the UK, you might have a turkey feast or a duck feast when it's the holiday season. Traditionally in America, we might have a turkey. Well, this story is going to have turkeys in it. And I've been to a farm, and turkeys make a rather strange guttural sound. So I'm going to imitate it, and maybe you can try it with me. So try a turkey sound. Oh my gosh, you're awesome turkeys. So in this story, there will be a time for you to be those turkeys with me. But now, let's get into the story. A long time ago upon the earth, the animals could talk. And when the animals could talk, they also talked to one another. Rabbits would talk to other animals, birds would sing. And on this very day, a rabbit came prancing out. Now, this rabbit, a long time ago, did not have a little fluffy tail. This rabbit had a long, bushy tail. I'm so proud of my tail, so proud of my tail. I just love it. It makes me happy. And that rabbit would jump to the right and jump to the left and swish that tail back and forth. I'm the cutest rabbit in all of the area. Now, as that rabbit was paying attention to its tail, it was forgetting to look ahead. Well, out from a bush jumped a bobcat, and the bobcat pinned the rabbit to the ground. And the rabbit was on its back with its tail being very still. And the bobcat leered into the rabbit's face and said, "Ha, ha, ha, I'm going to have you for my dinner." And the poor little pinned rabbit said, "Oh, please, please, do not eat me. Look at me, I'm so skinny. If you set me free, I will go find the fattest, biggest turkey for you to eat. Would you agree to that, bobcat, and unpin me?" "You can't trick me. If you do, then I will certainly find you." "Well, please take your claws out of me and I'll explain how we can play a game to catch a turkey." "All right, you better not be fooling me and run away." I promise, I promise." So the bobcat took its claws away from pinning the rabbit, and the rabbit stood up and swished her tail. "Oh, everything's okay. Oh, now, here's what I need you to do, Mr. Bobcat. I need you to pretend you're dead." "I don't know about that." "Yes, if you lay down in the road with your paws up in the air, when I bring the turkeys back, we will make a circle around you. And after we make the circle around you, I will start thumping and having the turkeys dance. And then when I say jump up and catch the biggest, you can pounce on the fattest turkey of them all. Oh, I think I can do that. So the bobcat lay with its paws into the air, and Rabbit took off into the woods to find the turkeys. And Rabbit went here and Rabbit went there, and finally Rabbit came into a clearing in the woods. And there were the turkeys. And they were talking to one another. So let's hear about 5 gobbles, please. Could have been 5, could have been more. But the turkeys all stopped when they saw the rabbit with the long swishy tail. Hi, everyone. I'm here today to bring you some good news. What's your good news? What's your good news? The bobcat is dead. Oh, the bobcat's dead. The bobcat's dead. Yes, if you follow me back toward the road, I will show you where he's laying dead. Go. The turkeys fluffed their feathers, and they all got in a nice, neat row right behind the rabbit. And they waddled, and they wiggled, and they followed that rabbit with the long, fluffy tail. All the time, the rabbit was smiling. Oh, this is going to be so good. Oh, this is going to be great. When they got to the place in the road, they saw the bobcat, and it was still laying in the road. The turkeys came closer, and they sniffed it. Yeah, well, it seems dead. And they gave it a little kick with its talons, and it seemed dead. Oh, the bobcat's dead. So they were in the circle, and Rabbit started to beat with its hind legs, a beat for the turkeys, and he started out slowly. And the turkeys marched to the beat, and then you can use your hands if you'd like. He got faster. And he beat and beat faster. And those turkeys got faster and faster and faster. And soon they were wobbling and their eyes were rolling. And they were delirious. And at the moment when the turkeys were seeming to be crazy, that rabbit jumped up and yelled, "Jump up and catch the biggest one!" And the bobcat awakened and he pounced on the biggest, fattest turkey of them all. It took a while for those delirious, wobbling turkeys to realize that their friend had been pinned by a not so dead bobcat. And then they all turned this way and they turned that way. They, "Go, you tricked us, you tricked us!" And they got into a line, and Rabbit realized, oh, and started running in the open field, trying to find a hole to duck into. Rabbit ran as fast could be, so very, very fast. faster. I gotta find a hole. I gotta find a hole. Those turkeys were gaining on the rabbit. The rabbit looked here, the rabbit looked there, and finally could spot one hole. The rabbit ran to that hole, slid down that hole, but just as it was about to go into the hole, a turkey wrapped its beak around that long, swishy tail. Rabbit tugged and twitched and tugged and twitched and slid down further and further into the hole. And at last, the rabbit felt some freedom. Oh, the turkey let go of my tail. But when Rabbit was able to catch its breath again, Rabbit turned to look behind him. Oh, my tail! What happened to my tail? And all that was left was a little white fluffy tail. Now they say, because of the turkey snipping off that rabbit's tail, from that day to this very one, rabbits have short, little, fluffy tails. Mr. Rabbit, your ears are mighty long. Yes, don't you know they were put on wrong? Every little soul has to shine, shine. Every little soul has to shine along. Now, I am thinking, in the time that we have left, that you might enjoy one more short story. Just a month ago, I was traveling in Egypt. I went to Cairo and I sailed down the river Nile, seeing the pyramids and the tombs and all the beautifully inscribed art. I even saw crocodile mummies. Being in Egypt made me also have the opportunity on the shores of the Nile to ride a camel. Have any of you ridden a camel before? Some say yes. Well, it's very tricky. A camel kneels down in order for you to mount it. You get on and hold the mounting post on the saddle. Then you have to pull back as the camel raises, first with the back legs and then with the front legs. And now you are high above the ground. Well, I want to tell you a story about a camel. Once there was a camel who had long, beautiful lashes. She liked to chew. Can you chew like a camel chews? And sometimes camels spit. Sometimes they make sounds like, Well, this camel had a dream. There in the desert were many other camels. And this camel didn't want to be like every other camel. I don't want to be like everybody. I have dreams. I have desires. I have a future. Do I want to just spend my day here in the deserts, drinking the water, walking along? No, not me. I want to become a storyteller. A camel wants to become a storyteller? How could that be? So she announced to all of her other camel friends who were standing in the oasis that day, I am going to become a storyteller and then I can tell you stories. The other camels just flicked their lids and chewed their cud.
What's wrong with you? Why do you want to become a storyteller? Why can't you just be happy being a camel? I have aspirations and dreams. With that, this camel rode away. All around the world, sent out letters. She had a scribe write them for her. And they were sent to all the storytellers around the world. And she said, I want to be a storyteller. Can you tell me how? And soon, in a couple of weeks, she received many letters. The scribe opened the letters and read them to her. And each letter had an advice in it of how to be a storyteller. Stand tall. Speak with a loud voice. Make eye contact with your audience. Show excitement when you tell the story. Change the characters. Everything was great advice. So some of the storytellers sent her stories, and she knew some from the place where she lived. Each day she would practice her stories. And at last she decided it was time for a storytelling concert. She had her scribe write out the invitations. Meet at the Oasis on Friday at 7 p.m. Well, she had a seamstress make herself a beautiful costume that she could wear to be the storyteller. And as the sun was setting in the desert at 7 p.m., she boldly came forth wearing her gown. All the other camels just looked. Can you open your mouths, camels, and be surprised? What's she doing? Oh, no. I think she's gone a little bit crazy. Well, she got up and told a beautiful story about floating on the River Nile, how she was able to find the crocodiles and make friends with her. She met other camels on her journey, and she mesmerized the other camels. They just stood there with their mouths open wide. And one said, she knows how to tell stories. Soon they were gossiping and murmuring. She knows how to tell stories. What is this, a camel who knows how to tell stories? How can that be? And instead of clapping or stomping their hooves, they spit on the ground. But the camel knew that that was the highest compliment she could get from her camel friends. And each day and evening, the camel told bedtime stories to her camel friends and anyone else who came by to the oasis. As far as I know, she's still there near the town of Edfu, telling her stories in her best camel way. I thank you for listening to my stories. I wish you all who are now having an evening to be well, and I want to sing you my goodbye song. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I'll be on my way. You listened well to my stories today. I want to thank you and to say goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I hope to see you soon again someday. Thank you to the World Storytelling Cafe for hosting my stories today in Lewis. I hope you will enjoy the stories that keep coming. And thank you to John Rowe and all who make this site a wonderful gathering for storytellers.
Well, thank you, Deborah. That was fantastic. That was about a wonderful 3/4 of an hour. I've been watching the faces on the screen. There's been so much joy. Thank you. And what have we got coming up? We have, well, what we've got next Friday. We've got a friend of Donald's next Friday. We've got Michael Kerrins. And so from north of the border, that's north, that's not Canada. North of the border for Deborah and Baba C and Terry would be Canada, but for us in the UK that means Scotland. And
to visit with Michael this summer and tell stories with he and Anne in her home, so in Scotland.
So marvelous. And then, but before that, this Sunday, everyone is welcome to pop along at 7 o'clock UK time to the worldwide story round. Drop in, tell a story. It'll be hosted by the inimitable Mike Rust. And then on Tuesday, not very good for children at school in the USA, but at 5 o'clock UK time, Greenwich Mean Time, that we have our international young storytellers. And so if you know of any young tellers under the age of 25 anywhere in the world, they're welcome to come along, tell a tale. Well, Waleed will be at the controls. We do some these days direct from the cafe. We have young tellers from Morocco coming in these days, and from Marrakesh, and from India, and sometimes Gaza and Nigeria. So that's every Tuesday, and it's so it goes on. And in about a week's time, I shall be over there. But in the meantime, thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Waleed, for flying the magic carpet. You're such a great pilot. There's could think of some airlines that could do with you. The carpets would arrive on time, and they maybe even take off on time. So and I can see Mike and Lucy there. Thank you for being thank you for making all this possible. And meanwhile, good night. See you Sunday.
Bye. Good night,
Thanks,
Louis.
Deborah. You were exciting. I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm
Deborah,
glad.
thank you very
I
much.
love your
Thank
story.
you.
Thank you, Louis. Good night, everyone.
Good
Take
night.
care. It's
Thanks,
always great to
everybody.
hear a fellow
Bye.
American telling
Thank you,
stories.
Deborah.
Oh, yes. I love hearing from Anne. And Terry's an awesome storyteller and puppet.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm waiting. Yes. This has been great. And now
Okay.
it's time for lunch.
Yes.
Before you go,
Lunch
Terry,
and dinner. Good night.
before you go, Terry, do you want to do a Friday sometime?
Sure.
Right. Well,
Oh, no.
yeah. Well, Deborah will tell you what to do.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye, Louis.
Later, Louis.
Bye,
Enjoy your
Louis.
swim.
Find your date probably late
Bye.
December, probably January now. Bye.
Bye.
That's
Bye.
fine.
Get in touch with me, john@johnrowe.com. And if you lose that, Deborah's got that.
Okay, and I just put my email in the chat.
You did. I'll write it down quickly before it goes. Lots of tales. Of tales, gmail.com. I've got a pen. I'll write that down before it goes away.
Deborah can send me yours as well. So
Sure.
So don't
And
be
you can-
pensive if you don't have a pen, John.
I've got
And
it.
you can find John Rowe also on your messenger for in
Facebook.
Facebook.
okay, great.
You can, at this point, you can find
Really?
John Rowe everywhere.
And you
Well,
too,
when he
Baba.
started listing off all the things you're doing, I'm like, wow, you guys are busy.
I try and be omnipresent, but I have a lot of help. I've got Waleed and Baba C and Mike and Lucy, and so I can give the illusion of multiple personage. Yes. Right. Okay. Good night, everybody. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
night.